Hey guys, it is winter in Russia and right now we are in one of my favorite areas of St. Petersburg in Vasilievsky Island. Why do I like this area so much? Well, it is not the tourist city center and there are zero tourist attractions in there, and that's why you cannot see those crazy walking crowds all around. And at the same time, this place looks totally magnificent. It is a very old island, yes. If you didn't know, St. Petersburg is divided in islands. There are several in the city and it is actually awesome, but after the bridges open you cannot get home anymore. So this place looks old, but at the same time it is incredibly beautiful, and that just gives some kind of coziness and warmth in there, and that is why it is extremely relaxing to be in there. And yes, I have got a hyper fixation on this pigtails with red ribbon. It is maybe the fourth video on my channel I am wearing this hairstyle because it is incredibly convenient to do in winter. Outside it is becoming harder to look after how your hair looks like because you're wearing a big jacket, it is cold, sometimes snow is falling down on you, and these guys just keep your hair always beautiful and neat, and that looks extremely cute. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is how did you sleep? In general, how do you sleep at night? Because we live in a very unstable period of time and it does affect what thoughts cross our mind in the middle of the night. If you wanna know, I am a little bit obsessed with my sleep, and that's what we are going to talk about today. So, what is my obsession with sleep about? Since something like the age of 12 till almost the age of 16, I was suffering with terrible insomnias and really still don't fully understand why. And in the final year of this nightmare, it turned so bad that I was doing sleeping pills non-stop and still it didn't help me to sleep normally. And by the way, I couldn't have any other medication other than those sleeping pills because my family wasn't really into all of that, and I myself understood that it might do only worse. And at the same time I couldn't really talk about that to my parents because I was in social relationship with them at that time. But in general, it's just a complex story. In general, if you want to know my family mental drama, just write me about it in comments. And of course, in the end, all these insomnias were not about pills, but about stress and mental issues. And they started to go away after I started to fix my mental health. But this weird and dark period of time has actually taught me a lot about how to care for my sleep and how to make myself sleep better. And today I'm gonna share all of that to you. Maybe hard times just create strong people. So I have prepared some kind of nightmare protocol for you, some tips which are supposed to make you sleep better. The first one, I guess, is do not try to go to sleep. The thing is, the more you push yourself, the more you make yourself to close your eyes and sleep, the worse it will work. So if you're non-stop looking at your clock and worrying about time and counting in how many hours do you need to wake up, it will not work. It will only increase your cortisol more and it will stop you from sleeping, and you don't want that. The next one is no devices or bright lights 2 hours before sleep. I follow it partly because right now my work, what I do for you guys, is tied to my laptop and to my phone, and sometimes I have to work till late hours. But in any way, no matter what happens, at least 1 hour before you sleep, you should limit the light in your room. Which means you're turning off the big light and turning on some small cozy lamps with warm light. And at least 30 minutes or as long as you can, limit your phone and put it away before you go to bed. The trick here is bright lights, especially blue colored light, can create really lots of problems for your health. I have even heard it can create problems for your hormones, but I don't have a doctor degree, so better confirm it somewhere. And in general, of course, it creates double problems for your sleep, for your cortisol, and for how you feel during the day. The next thing what I wrote on my little paper is cool room and warm food. In general, it works so. The temperature in your room must be colder, and that's why it is good to open the windows at night. But inside your blanket it should be extra warm. So it is like you actually feel warm enough inside, but outside it is cold. And this is how it becomes very cozy and relaxing to sleep. And about the warm feet, this is the day I have to confess that I have got a habit of sleeping in warm socks. I sleep in my socks for more than 3 years already, and that helps me incredibly much to sleep better. It just feels so warm and cozy to sleep like this, you cannot imagine. And only recently I have found out that it really has a scientific proof, and doctors really recommend to do that. So right now no one can stop me from sleeping in my socks. And next one will be the surprising one, eat more salt. It was really surprising for me too, but I found out that actually salt helps you sleep better. I am not sure about how it works. Again, I don't have a doctorate degree, but I tested it like recently and it really helps. And here is where we come to the next one. No late meals and no snacking. When you eat late in the evening, it might relax your body, but your body still keeps working on processing the food you have eaten. And when you go to bed, your body still works because it still is processing food. And that just stops you from sleeping. Next, I want to mention EMF, electromagnetic fields. I am not very strong in physics either, but what I know for sure is all your devices like your phones, your laptops, tablets, TV, and Bluetooth wires, basically anything, have electromagnetic fields. You cannot see it, you cannot hear it, you cannot feel it on your skin, but your brain catches it. In general, our brain catches a lot of things which we don't know about. This also doesn't leave your brain relaxed, and this also can stop you from sleeping. So what I do is before going to bed, I put my phone either on table or somewhere on sofa, on chair, somewhere at least 2 meters away from my bed, and only after that I sleep. I know that a lot of people have got used to their phones being under their pillows or on floor close to their beds, but that's not the best thing for you. And the plus point is if you have alarms, it is actually easier and better for you to wake up if you have to get up and walk to your table to turn your alarm off. With that thing, less likely you will go back to bed and sleep again. Next is, of course, your diet. In general, I was finding out more and more recently that too much carbs is terrible for like literally every part of your health. It is not only about your physical health, but it's also your mental health. And right now I know that it's also about your sleep. And next one is my favorite after sleeping in socks is walks. Thing is, again, for your overall health, for your mental health, and for your sleep, you need some physical activity every day, and you need some fresh air every day. And walking just combines these two things. So imagine if you walk enough in the evening, it will make you a little bit tired and you will get enough oxygen. So when you come home, you can relax and go to bed peacefully and fall asleep. And that is why I'm walking here like crazy for 1 hour already. And And the last one, and I think the most important one, is consistency. If you went to bed at 10:30 today evening, that means that you will have to go to bed at 10:30 next evening, and an evening after that, and like this until you form a proper habit. You've just gotta have an approximate fixed time to sleep every evening and fixed time to wake up every morning. And only after that, only after repeating all those steps consistently every day, you've gotta really fix your sleep. Right now, from the central part of Ireland, we are coming closer to the part where people actually live. And this place just starts looking more cozy and calm and sleepy and relaxed. Guys, I have come to a completely different part of the island right now. It is on Primorska metro station. It is closer to the seaside, like Vasilievsky Island has access to the seaside. And right now I'm just in a completely different area, which looks completely different and a little bit scary to me. Like behind you can see that these are actual real old Khrushchevkas which look so bad. And it is especially interesting to notice to me because most of Vasilievsky Island is an extremely rich area. The apartments close to the seaside are from 40 million rubles. It is lots, and plus of course there is this Lahta Center, which is the tallest building in Europe and the main building of Gazprom. And on another part of Ireland it is also a very rich area, but for some reason here in the middle we can see that this place looks scary even to me, like to the person who has lived in total shitholes. And I just don't know how did it happen like this, that in the middle of such an amazing place there is a whole area of such old poor houses. This makes me want to film another vlog about this area because I noticed that a lot of people are interested in such post-Soviet places, and this one looks exactly so. So you should write me down below if you want that or not. So, it is time for a little bit of storytelling right now. I have been to Primorska before once for a reason. Thing is, close to New Year's Eve, my parents wanted to send me a full bag filled with sweets, candies, marshmallows and things like that from Belarus. And instead of doing it by normal post, they have asked some guy they knew who was a driver who was driving people on excursions to St. Petersburg from Belarus to bring this back to me. And he would do that for us totally for free, but I had to go to exactly the hotel where he stayed to take this back myself. And this hotel was exactly in this area. It was evening, it was already getting darker, and it was cold because once again we are close to seaside, it is much colder in there. And I had to walk for 1 hour from metro to his hotel, to his bloody bus with this bloody bag, and I could just barely find it. First of all, he told me the area and the name of hotel incorrectly. He told it is going to be somewhere at Nevsky Prospect, but here it doesn't smell like Nevsky Prospect to me. And then I had to walk for another 1.5 hours around that hotel because his bus was not exactly at the parking. Like he has hid the bus somewhere away to not to pay for parking at the hotel. And he was standing there and he could not explain me normally very exactly. And whenever I tried to figure something out, like try to explain him, okay, I'm standing at this place, looking at this direction, where to turn, where to go. He would just interrupt me, yell at me, and explain something that is very, very hard to understand in his mixed Belarusian language. And that was just so nuts and crazy. It was so hard to argue with him. He yelled at me and I yelled at him back because how dare you yell at me. And then after I finally found him, I had to carry all this big heavy bag alone through metro and everything. So if you ever appear in a similar situation, better just use post. And it looks like a nice time to sum up. I hope you guys really enjoyed this walk and I really hope these little tips are really going to help you. Because a lot of people really suffer from sleep problems and insomnias right now, and I think it is important to just try to help one another. And in any way, I want to thank all of you guys for being such a supportive audience. We have hit 1000 subscribers recently. It is such a big thing. My channel is literally a bit more than 1 month old and we're making such an awesome progress thanks to you all. You already know that I enjoy reading all your comments and I try to reply to everything you write me. And of course I will be absolutely happy if you write me something nice again there. Maybe you know some more tips or maybe you know just another scientific proof for sleeping in socks. So I will see you all in my new video next week.